Somewhere between your breakfast table and your evening walk, your muscles might already be shrinking without you realizing it. Many seniors are told that if they just eat sardines or load up on eggs, they'll stop losing muscle. But here's the painful truth. Even if you eat a whole can of sardines every single day or crack 10 eggs for breakfast, it's still not enough. The scale might not change, but inside, your muscles are thinning, your strength is fading, and your independence is at risk. Muscle loss after 60, also called sarcopenia, is silent but devastating. It steals your ability to climb stairs, to carry groceries, to hug your grandchildren tightly. And the cruel irony is that most people think they're doing the right thing by sticking to sardines and eggs, only to find out years later that it never worked. But today, we're going to reveal something different. I'm going to show you 4 powerful foods that provide more muscle-building protein than sardines. Foods that can actually reverse sarcopenia when used correctly. I'll also share the truth about canned foods, what's safe, what's not, and expose the dangerous everyday foods that cancel out your hard work and speed up muscle breakdown. If you've ever wondered why your body still feels weak despite eating protein, or if you've feared losing your independence as you grow older, this may be the most important message you hear all year. The foundation. Why sardines and eggs alone? Fail. First, let's get one thing clear. Building muscle is not just about lifting weights or walking daily. In fact, science shows that muscle health is 80% nutrition and only 20% exercise. No matter how much you move, without the right protein strategy, you won't see results. And here's the math problem no one talks about. A can of sardines, around 18 grams of protein, 10 eggs, around 55 grams of protein. Sounds decent, right? But to preserve and rebuild muscle after 60, research shows you need at least 100 grams of high-quality protein every day. That means sardines plus eggs still leave you falling short. And when you're short, your muscles don't repair, your fibers shrink, and sarcopenia progresses. So what's the solution? 4 overlooked foods, most available right in your pantry, that pack more protein per serving than sardines, and in some cases, provide powerful extra nutrients that your muscles crave. Let's start with the one most people overlook, the humble mushroom. Food number 1, mushrooms, nature's plant-based muscle ally. When people think of protein, mushrooms rarely come to mind. But here's the surprise. 1 cup of cooked mushrooms can deliver 12 to 15 grams of protein, which is already more than sardines. But the protein is only part of the story. Mushrooms are rich in potassium, a mineral that keeps your muscles from cramping. They also contain selenium, a powerful antioxidant that shields your muscle fibers from oxidative stress, the very damage caused when you exercise or even just move throughout your day. The B vitamins in mushrooms, especially B6 and folate, help break down protein into usable building blocks, so your body can actually build new fibers instead of just digesting calories. And then there are the beta-glucans compounds unique to mushrooms that reduce inflammation and speed up recovery. A clinical study on seniors found that those who consumed mushroom extracts daily while doing resistance training gained 18% more muscle mass and recovered 23% faster compared to those who didn't. That's a dramatic difference for something so simple. And mushrooms aren't just modern science. In Japan, samurai and laborers ate mushrooms daily for strength and endurance, centuries before we understood the science. Practical tip: don't just rely on fresh mushrooms. Canned mushrooms are just as effective, especially if you rinse them to lower sodium. For breakfast, try sautéing mushrooms with spinach and mixing them into scrambled eggs. For lunch, combine mushrooms with chicken, chickpeas, and yogurt. For dinner, toss them into a stir-fry with broccoli and rice. Each meal becomes a muscle-building powerhouse. But mushrooms work even better when paired with the next food. Food number 2, tuna, the protein champion of the sea. If mushrooms are the quiet helper, tuna is the loud champion. A single 3.5-ounce serving of canned tuna delivers 25 to 30 grams of complete protein that's nearly double what sardines give you. Why does this matter so much for seniors? Because tuna's amino acid profile directly fuels muscle repair. As we age, our muscles respond more slowly to protein, a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. Tuna overcomes this by delivering dense, bioavailable protein that your muscles can actually use. Tuna also brings in selenium and B vitamins, especially B12 and niacin. These nutrients don't just support energy, they literally unlock your muscles' ability to use the protein you eat. Without them, much of your protein would be wasted. One 8-month study on seniors with sarcopenia showed that those who ate fish like tuna 3 times per week gained an average of 4.1 pounds of lean muscle mass compared to only 1.2 pounds in the control group. That's the difference between needing a walker and walking independently. Mediterranean cultures have known this for over 3,000 years. Fishermen preserved tuna to stay strong into old age. Now modern science confirms what tradition already knew. Recipe idea. For breakfast, mix tuna into scrambled eggs with mushrooms. For lunch, toss it into a white bean salad with vegetables. For dinner, combine tuna with roasted veggies and herbs. Each dish delivers complete protein plus anti-inflammatory nutrients. But even tuna alone isn't enough. To really supercharge your muscle growth, you need the food that fueled cowboys and railroad workers across America: canned beef. Food number 3, canned beef, the muscle preserver. At first glance, canned beef may not sound glamorous, but it's one of the most protein-dense foods you can buy. A 3-ounce serving provides 25 to 28 grams of complete protein, all 9 essential amino acids, plus natural creatine and carnosine compounds that support muscle endurance and fight age-related muscle decline. Unlike plant proteins that may lack certain amino acids, canned beef delivers everything your body needs in one package. The hemi-iron improves oxygen delivery to muscles, while zinc and B12 keep your nerves and coordination sharp. Selenium protects your tissue from damage, and carnosine buffers against fatigue. In one study, seniors who included canned beef daily gained 22% more lean muscle and improved strength by 28% compared to those relying only on plant proteins. And history backs it up. American cowboys and railroad workers relied on canned beef during grueling physical labor. They discovered firsthand that beef preserved their endurance in a way beans and bread never could. Practical note: some worry about sodium in canned beef. Here's the key: choose low-sodium varieties, rinse before cooking, and pair with vegetables. That way, you get the benefits without the risks. Try this. For breakfast, sauté potatoes with canned beef and peppers, topped with eggs. For lunch, make a burrito bowl with beef, beans, rice, and avocado. For dinner, simmer beef with mushrooms, carrots, and chicken broth for a comforting protein-rich stew. But maybe you're vegetarian or simply want a plant-based option. That's where canned beans shine. Food number 4, beans, the democratic protein. Beans are proof that you don't need meat to build muscle. A cup of canned black beans contains about 15 grams of protein, and kidney beans about 13 grams. While that may sound less than beef or tuna, here's why they matter. Beans deliver magnesium, crucial for muscle contraction and relaxation. They provide potassium to prevent cramps, folate to support protein metabolism, and lysine, an amino acid often missing in vegetarian diets. Together, these nutrients make beans a powerful muscle ally. In a 20-week study, seniors who ate beans daily improved muscle endurance by 16% and recovery rates by 19% compared to those on conventional diets. Warriors throughout history, from Native American tribes combining beans with corn to armies in Europe, relied on beans for sustained energy and strength during long campaigns. Simple meals. For breakfast, scramble eggs with mushrooms and beans. For lunch, toss beans with tuna, vegetables, and olive oil. For dinner, simmer beans with canned beef and tomatoes for a hearty stew. Beans may not be glamorous, but combined with tuna, beef, or mushrooms, they complete the amino acid puzzle your muscles need. The caution. Are canned foods safe for seniors? At this stage, you may be asking the question many health-conscious people wonder. Aren't canned foods generally unhealthy? The truth is, the reputation of canned products comes from the fact that some of them are loaded with sodium, preservatives, or even harmful chemicals in the lining of the cans. And yes, relying only on the wrong type of canned foods can cause problems for seniors, especially if you already deal with high blood pressure, kidney issues, or heart concerns. But here's the important nuance. Not all canned foods are created equal. When chosen wisely, they can be both safe and incredibly practical for older adults who may not always have the energy, strength, or time to cook fresh meals every day. In fact, canned mushrooms, tuna, beans, and beef can make the difference between consistently reaching your daily protein target or falling short and watching your muscles slowly weaken. The key is to follow a few simple rules. Always look for low-sodium labels. Many brands now offer reduced salt versions. Rinse and drain beans or mushrooms before cooking, which can lower sodium by as much as 40%. Whenever possible, select BPA-free cans to avoid harmful chemicals leaching into your food. And most importantly, remember that canned protein should never stand alone. Balance it with fresh vegetables, fruits, and whole grains to provide fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins that support overall health. So while canned foods may sound like a shortcut, for seniors, they can be a reliable tool, making it easier to hit the crucial 100 grams of protein a day needed to fight muscle loss and maintain independence. The enemies of muscle. Foods that cancel out your efforts. Now let's talk about the dark side of nutrition. You could eat the perfect mix of mushrooms, tuna, beef, and beans. You could carefully measure your protein intake and finally hit that magic 100 grams a day. But if you regularly combine those foods with certain muscle killers, all your hard work can vanish in an instant. The worst offender? Instant noodles. At first glance, they look harmless, quick, cheap, and comforting. But their glycemic index can rival white bread, sending your blood sugar soaring in minutes. This sudden spike triggers a chain reaction. Insulin levels rise, amino acids are blocked from entering your muscle cells, and the very protein you ate is wasted. Worse still, the refined flour and high heat frying process create compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These toxic molecules lodge directly in muscle tissue, accelerating breakdown and driving chronic inflammation. In one study, Seniors who ate instant noodles with protein showed a 35% drop in muscle protein synthesis compared to those who avoided them. That's the difference between gaining strength and losing it. But noodles aren't alone. There are 3 more everyday foods that quietly sabotage your progress: sugary sodas and sweetened drinks. Each can of soda delivers a shock wave of sugar, sometimes 40 grams or more in a single serving. This flood of glucose fuels systemic inflammation and promotes insulin resistance, which means amino acids can't be shuttled into your muscles efficiently. Over time, this leaves your muscles starving, no matter how much protein you consume. Processed meats like hot dogs and bacon. These convenient proteins seem harmless, but they're packed with sodium, preservatives, and nitrites. While they technically provide protein, the high levels of salt and chemicals ignite inflammation and raise your risk of both muscle loss and cardiovascular disease. Instead of supporting your body, they actually wear it down from the inside. Pastries and refined sweets, croissants, donuts, cookies. These foods are heavy in refined flour and sugar, offering little to no nutritional value. They cause rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar, draining your energy and undermining recovery after exercise. Over time, they contribute to fat gain and weaken muscle function. So while mushrooms, tuna, beef, and beans are the builders, these foods are the destroyers. If you truly want to fight sarcopenia and protect your independence, cut them out completely. Replace instant noodles with quinoa or brown rice. Swap sodas for water or unsweetened tea. Trade processed meats for lean cuts of chicken or fish. Choose whole fruits instead of pastries. Every smart replacement moves you closer to strength, stability, and a longer, healthier life. Real-life transformation. Take the story of Paul, a 72-year-old who thought he was eating healthy by topping instant noodles with tuna and mushrooms. But his muscle mass kept shrinking, and fatigue weighed him down. When he finally cut out instant noodles and replaced them with quinoa and brown rice, within 4 weeks he gained nearly 2 pounds of lean muscle and felt energy he hadn't experienced in years. His inflammation markers dropped by 60%, and his daily strength improved. Stories like Paul's are proof. It's not just what you eat, but what you avoid, that determines whether you stay strong or frail. Your muscle-building roadmap. Let's bring everything together. The truth is simple. Sardines and eggs alone will never be enough. To truly fight back against muscle loss after 60, you need a clear plan. Aim for at least 100 grams of protein every single day. Rely on better sources: mushrooms, tuna, beef, and beans. These foods give your body the complete amino acids, minerals, and antioxidants it needs to grow stronger. Make smart choices with canned foods. Pick low-sodium, BPA-free versions, and rinse them to remove excess salt. Eliminate the muscle killers: instant noodles, sodas, processed meats, and sugary pastries. These aren't harmless snacks, they're silent enemies that block your progress and accelerate weakness. If you follow this roadmap, you won't just slow down sarcopenia. You'll rebuild real strength, regain the ability to move freely, and live with more energy, confidence, and independence well into your later years. Remember this: every meal is a choice. It can either build your future or break it down. The strength of your muscles determines the freedom of your life. Choose wisely. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 foods are already part of your weekly meals? And which of the muscle killers do you still need to cut out? Leave your answers in the comments below. I read every single one. And before you go, here's my challenge. Don't just watch this video and move on. Take action today. Fill your pantry with the muscle-building foods we discussed. Toss out the instant noodles and sugary drinks. Hit the subscribe button right now so you don't miss tomorrow's video.